Willkommen, Herr Schuldt.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much also for the opportunity to give you a short speech here. Also welcome. So don't worry, don't bore you with any political speech today. I just want to give you some motivation speech. As we just recently learned, we are in Bilbao is an industrial city. Therefore, I want to give you some very slight insight also from the industrial perspective. Yeah? So having said this, just to make you aware, a couple of years ago, I worked in Japan. And obviously, in every regard, if something happens in Europe, the Japanese side approached me and say to me, Marco, what is digital sovereignty? What we can imagine about this? What do you mean in Europe? As Boris Otto says, we have a technical perspective on this, but there is also a political perspective on this. And I always explain my Japanese counterparts that we don't mean we want to have digital autonomy, because sovereignty is a difficult phrase. What we do want with digital sovereignty is a level playing field for the companies. And specifically, we here in Europe, we have a strong, small and medium-sized enterprises, a fragmentation all over. And this is very specific in the world, just really to highlighting that. And in the end, digital sovereignty is more than just a stupid political catchphrase. It's really the aim of the industry for helping small and medium-sized companies to make them sovereign, that they can self-determine choices, what technologies you want to choose, how to control it, how to manage this. And this is really the purpose and the aim, what we are heading for. And therefore, this was also the development, what we are seeing in Germany, for example, for the platform industry 4.0. Where we have, first of all, starting with discussions, what is the right standard for machine languages like OPC-UA, how we can organize our OT world, our shop floor world, what is necessary that machines can communicate on the shop floor level. This is, for example, one result of this discussion was the asset administration shell, but there was always one digit or one single part missing. And this part is exactly Gaia-X. How we can collide, share, and share the data in an environment of trust where everyone has the ability to manage the data fully, to share the data, to create an additional value out of this, really to gain more innovation for the companies by really sourcing out any technical question. And this is what is Gaia all about. Just for make you aware, I'm also joining Gaia as in the second minute to say so, though therefore I'm following Gaia also for the last couple of years. And this was always a huge opportunity by talking to this and also to bring this concept into the world. And the nice thing is we're discussing about data spaces, sector-specific data spaces. We're also discussing about how to create data ecosystems and ultimately how we should also discuss how to create industrial-led, data-driven value networks. Because from our perspective, there are the value, there are the benefit for the sake of the industries and in the end, obviously also for the sake of Europe. I'm here today as a European and also to make you aware, Gaia-X, you know, we talk about also the European scope, but in the end, Gaia-X is a global approach. Because we talk about value chains, we talk about value networks in the end, data-driven value networks. They are not stopping on any border, nor on the European one, nor on the Asian one. Therefore, it's very much important that we take this under consideration, what this approach is, what we're really achieving here. Yeah? And also to highlight a very huge or very, how can I say this, very good opportunity, what we already achieved with Gaia-X. Usually in the US, as you may know, the US companies, the tech companies gather together, they're discussing about WebGL 4.0, whatever, the manufacturing companies gather together. What we achieved with Gaia is that also the users, the industry side, and the provider side gather together to discussing about requirements and to developing this further. And this is really a huge success. I really want to highlight here on the stage. But in the end, what we will achieve with Gaia-X, we really achieve because we will ultimately change the way how data will be treated and how data will be created in the future on European scale and also on global scale. And this is really the Big Bang scenario. And today, Bilbao is the melting pot for this scenario. Basically, you are the persons in charge, you are the front runners who are able to bring this technology forward, to really striving to pave the ground for the technologies that we can really progressing and proceed to let this come to life and bring this on global scale. So having said this, I was also want to conclude with a short story, also a very personal story from my side. A couple of years ago, I visited a big American tech company And I was a little bit too early, as usual for Germans, you know, and then I have to wait in the meeting room. And in the tech company, you know, there was furniture, there was green furniture, yellow furniture, blue furniture, red furniture. So basically, you can imagine this was Google. And the interesting thing is, while I'm waiting, there was some tiny sweets on the table, you know, so tiny Google sweets on the table. And I say, okay, I will give it a try. And now the interesting question is, what does a Google sweet taste like? Somebody has the answer? Obviously, there's just one answer: apple. Yeah, and and I was surprised. I was really surprised how consequent this company is managed in every single aspect, you know. And I also was surprised about the sense of humor, basically. And this is what I want also wish you today. Basically, I wish you the same consequence in every line of code you will today code in your hackathon. And I wish also the same sense of humor in the discussions for today and tomorrow with you nearby. Yeah, thank you very much.